Turning a blind eye to red flags always leads to relationship failure. In this video, I have a case study to share with all of you in which this young man, 27 years old, wasted 3 years of his life with a woman that exploited him financially and emotionally. It wasn't even a real relationship, but to him it was because of his delusion, because of his neediness and his knowledge gap, which led to him staying in a situationship that was long overdue. Men, it's very important to walk away when you realize things are off with a woman. So for all of you watching, there's a lot of value in this case study. He gives a very good detailed description of everything that happened so that you can learn from his mistakes. So with that said, let's get right into it. For those of you who don't know and are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Christian and I teach men to master relationships righteously. And if you'd like to learn more about what I teach, check out Relationship Mastery. The link is in the description, or head over to my website, relearningrelationships.com, to learn more. With that said, let's get into it. To protect his identity, I am going to refer to him as Jimmy. So Jimmy says, I'm a 27-year-old living in California. I've spent 3 tumultuous years clinging to someone who deceived me and never committed to my relationship, wasting my mid-20s in the process. That is the key pain point I want you all to remember. Wasting my mid-20s in the process. You don't get that back. He gives a bit of background as well about his past relationship. For some context, he said, in my first long-distance relationship, we bonded online during our final year of high school. She moved from California to Chicago for college to be closer to me, even visiting my home every weekend. Despite her dedication and sacrifices, I took her for granted. I eventually cheated on her during our 2-year relationship and regret it deeply. So he obviously has a past of betraying a woman. After our breakup, I engaged in casual dating to distract from the pain, but it led to poor choices. I began overcompensating in new relationships, ignoring red flags and trying too hard to make up for past mistakes. Proper healing was necessary, but remained elusive. So obviously, Jimmy, in the past, you cheated on a woman that was good to you, made an effort, and that has affected you, but you're honest enough to admit your mistake and you say that you regret it deeply. Well, if you really repent and have a change of mind, then you can have a change of heart. And I hope that you do move forward and turn things around. But as he said, he began to overcompensate. And you're going to see how this falls into play in the recent relationship that went bad. So now we get into his actual situation. From June 2020 to October 2023. The toxic relationship with my ex who monkey branched on me. In June 2020, I met my now ex on a dating app, beginning a long-distance relationship between Baltimore and Illinois. We had FaceTime dates and shared work interests. By September, we planned a trip to Ohio for October, but I started asking her about her past relationships, receiving vague answers. That's the first red flag. She had a lot of male friends, and even admitted how most are failed dates that she kept as friends. Red flag number 2. Guys, when you ask a woman about her past and she's being elusive, she's not giving you descriptive details of what happened, walk away. Because ultimately, if you're going to share your life with a woman, she has a right to know everything about you as much as you do about her. You need to know about her body count, sexual history, her past. It's an indication into who she is if she hasn't changed. And furthermore, if she has an STD or could put you at risk, you have a right to know. You're responsible for the quality of woman that you choose. Do I not say that enough? But I'll never stop saying it, will I? It's not so often that we need to be taught as much as we need to be reminded. The basics, the fundamentals. That's what you need to get right. This stuff has to become second nature to you. And for some of you watching the video now, you can kind of tell where this relationship's going because you've watched my videos. and you learn. However, a guy like Jimmy, being in that situation with that knowledge gap, he couldn't see. So now he's going to get a completely different perspective as he goes through this video. So again, male friends and doesn't want to talk about her past. Something to hide and something that she's ashamed of. Remember, you find a wife, you don't build a wife. Our first in-person meeting went well, but I discovered that she kept our relationship secret from her friends completely. Maybe she's rebounding. Maybe she's running from things from her past and you're just a guy she's trying to use to heal. I made a recent video on rebound relationships, didn't I? This is one of the things that you will see. When women haven't healed from their past, very broken, damaged, and they're just using you, you're just a backup guy, a break glass in case of emergency, they don't really bring you to the forefront of their life. They don't keep the people close to them, family and friends, up to date about the new love interest, which is you. Whereas when you're with a woman who has a clean slate, there's nothing holding her back. She actually wants to date you for you and get to know you. She's going to tell everyone in her life about you because she has pure intentions. She actually wants a relationship with you. She got nothing to hide. But when you're with or involved with someone who's playing around with different people, they're juggling different balls, so to speak, as in her case, different male friends who used to be, failed dates that she kept as friends. You're the new guy who comes into the picture. You're getting some insight into who she is. She has a track record of using men and then keeping them in the background for attention if they don't work out. This is not a woman that has high moral standards. This is not a woman who respects herself. She knows how to manipulate and use men. That's not a woman that would make a good wife or a good mother to your children. And on top of that, she wants to keep you in the shadows. She wants to keep you hidden away, just in case other people find out what you're hiding. That gives you a lot of insight into who she is. And so she kept your relationship secret from her friends completely. Not a good sign. After several months of daily FaceTime conversations and anticipation, I brought up the topic of exclusivity. Another mistake that I see guys make all the time. You don't bring up the relationship. Femininity is relationship oriented. Okay? As men, your job is to show up, court her, date her, get to know her, make her feel comfortable in your presence, and create a setting, a time and a place where you can date her consistently. And once her feelings rise over time and she feels safe, let her bring up exclusivity. And by that point, you should have vetted her enough as much as she has to you so that you both make a sound, logical reasoning. Well, a sound, logical decision as to why you want to commit to each other, right? You can't rush someone into a relationship in a week, but they also shouldn't take 7 months, okay? On average, men, we take about a month to fall for a woman if she's a good woman doing everything right and our intentions are clean. For her, women take a little bit longer to develop feelings, 1.5 months, sometimes even 2, between that range. And there are exceptions. The more things you do right than wrong, if she's really attracted to you as well, she can fall for you sooner. The more things you do wrong, it will take longer. But if you're doing everything right, and past 1.5 months, 2 months, 5 to 8 weeks of dating consistently, a woman's not bringing up exclusivity, she either settle for you or you're doing things wrong. And quite frankly, if you're doing things wrong and it's taking her 7 months to fall for you, if she had standards for herself, she would have walked away. So it looks like she settled for you. So you're telling me it took 7 months of FaceTime conversations and then you bring up exclusivity. You're bringing up exclusivity to a woman who's being vague about her past. When you met up with her, she's keeping you as a secret. If she really liked you, she'd tell you. Guys, when a woman likes you, she practically bonds with you emotionally just by being in your presence, just by talking with you, calling with you, seeing you in person. A month and a half, more or less, that's when she should have been ready. Hey Jimmy, where is this going? Hey Jimmy, where is this heading? Hey Jimmy, hope you're not talking to anyone else. Hey Jimmy, I want you all to myself. And when she brings it up, even in a passive way, because that's women's language, you make her bring it out to you in a direct manner. You pull it out of her. When she says those things, you ask her, what do you mean by that? Well, I want you all to myself. Oh, so you want me to be your boyfriend? Yes, I do. Ah, so you want to be in an exclusive relationship? Yes, I do. Great. And then you discuss it with her. You discuss your terms and conditions. And then you decide, as the man, whether you choose to take her to be your girlfriend or not. That's your duty. But you telling me that you brought up the exclusivity after talking with her for 7 months and she didn't bring it up, that tells me that she wasn't feeling it. And given all the data that you've written so far, she's hiding you from her friends, the red flags, things are not adding up. So you want to be very careful with that. Continuing on. She expressed fondness for me, but also voiced concerns about the distance between us and the plans to move to Texas. Again, another reason why you don't bring up exclusivity. Now that you've pushed, be my girlfriend, she's not feeling it. She feels guilty. She's like, yeah, sure, I'd like that, but what about the distance? If a woman was head over heels in love with you, this wouldn't happen. Of course, she doesn't even care if there's distance. She'll find a way. If you have a medium distance relationship, 1 hour away, 2 hours away, 5 hours away, even 10 hours away, there are couples that make it work and they find a way to grow closer, right? So if she was really feeling it, she wouldn't give you these excuses. She'd be all in. And from what I've seen, people over the years, the best relationships are the couples that are all in from the get-go. If you're holding back, there's something wrong with you, something wrong with her, or you just don't find each other that attractive. That's it. She didn't want to lose me, but emphasized we weren't exclusive. So she's keeping you in backup as she did to all of the other male friends. This is when you should have walked away and found another woman, but you didn't. And this is where you wasting 3 years of your life comes into play. Galatians 6:7 in the Bible says, you reap what you sow. God cannot be mocked. You chose to stay. And there's a price to pay for that, which you're all going to see as we go through this email. This is another reason why you let the woman bring up the exclusivity. Because when a woman's ready to be in a relationship, this is right around the time when she will give you or bring up the first I love you, which happens within the 5 to 8 week range. You're courting her right, you're doing everything right, she bonds with you, she develops feelings of certainty and trust for you. Emotionally speaking, she sees you as a good fit to be a husband and a father. She trusts you as a man. This is when she falls in love with you or develops feelings of love. Now she's ready to say, I want you all to myself and I love you. Because if you get into an exclusive relationship with a girl and she hasn't said the first I love you, does she really? You want to let the woman bring that up, guys. Always. That's the trick. Okay, your job as a man is to create the setting for her to bond to you. And then you let her come to you, let her grow to you. It really is that simple. And you can't rush the process. But at the same time, you can't give it 7 months or a year to wait a girl to fall for you. It doesn't take that long. 1.5 months to 2 months is the normal, healthy range of when emotionally stable women with no baggage in the past who share chemistry and compatibility with you will be ready to be exclusive, and their emotional attraction will be high enough, as I mentioned in my book and in my course, to where they're ready to say I love you. If she's not saying I love you and I want you all to myself in the same day, in the same sentence, at the same time, she's not feeling it. And this is where guys have a knowledge gap with relationships. You're so focused on your own interest level, you projecting it onto her. I'm really into her, so she must be really into me. Big mistake. Look at her actions. That is the cure to being confused by women. And even for the ladies listening, You don't know where you stand with him? Look at his actions. Here you are bringing up, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? And she's telling you, well, that's really sweet, but there's distance and, it's okay. I don't want to lose you, but we're also not exclusive. So not only is she not your girlfriend, so she can go off and do what she wants with other men, she's still keeping you there in the background. So if she doesn't want you all to herself, why is she keeping you there? It's not for love, is it? It's for attention. And that is a woman that you avoid. So, continuing on, she emphasized that we're not exclusive, leaving room for an open exit. Exactly. In hindsight, I should have walked away. But I was so captivated by a connection that I believed I could convince her to be exclusive with me through my passion and charm. What was I just saying a minute ago? This is what guys do. Projecting their own interest. If I really like her, she must really like me too. No amount of you liking her is going to make her like you back. That comes naturally. But let's see what else played out. In February, she unexpectedly expressed her love for me, and our interactions became more playful and frequent, but we weren't exclusive. How's she expressing her love for you, and then she doesn't want you all to herself? She's just throwing you a bone to keep you waiting. That's really what she's doing. We consistently met each other from February to June 2021, which strengthened our connection. During this time, I took on an active role in her work, helping with tasks and assisting in finding an apartment in Texas. I put in significant effort to show her the value of our relationship. If she valued you, just your presence would be enough. Think about it. What did she have to do to make you want a relationship with her? Nothing. You want her in your life. You found her attractive, you really desired her, and you were happy enough to be with her. You liked her for who she was, or who you thought she was, right? That's natural, that's organic. You can't negotiate genuine desire. It's there from the beginning, or it's not. Okay, maybe with this. So that was your mistake there, Jimmy. Oh, I'm going to show her the value of my relationship. And now you're running around doing everything for her. But she doesn't even want a relationship with you. So she moved to Texas, and I visited for extended periods. We explored the town, and our social circle expanded, which seemed positive for our relationship. Her social circle expanding, given the fact she has a history of lots of male friends in backup orbiting around her, is not a positive for your relationship. And again, you didn't even really have a relationship. He wrote to me in his email, Christian, I want you to be honest and blunt. Tell me the truth. Give me your honest opinion, and I'll give it. You didn't have a real relationship with this woman. You convinced yourself you had because of the effort you put in. She was just using you, which you're all going to see as we go through the rest of it. And Jimmy had originally sent me like a 12-page PDF, 13-page PDF file. And I'm like, no, it's too long. And for those of you wanting to send me case studies, send me a short one page max. If you'd want to do 2, I'll give you 2 as a leeway, like he did, a little bit more. I can fit that into a good enough case study. But when you send me 13, 15, 20 pages of your life story, I can't get to that. So continuing on, in August of 2021, we planned to celebrate our birthdays together. Okay. Upon my arrival in Texas, she acted distant and mentioned visiting a cousin, which struck me as unusual. When I returned to her apartment, I found it decorated for my birthday with a touching surprise. And on the day I departed, she planned to meet with her new friends, which I saw as a positive sign, given her social nature. However, she didn't respond to my messages after I reached the airport, causing concern. Very strange behavior. Remember, genuine people show up consistently every day. If there is ever a break in pattern, in their behavior and their routine, it will always be explained soon after with an in-depth explanation and logic that adds up, followed by them going back to their usual behavior. If you're with a woman or ladies watching you with a man and things stop adding up, there's changes in their behavior, they disappear, the way they contact you starts to become unusual, and you haven't done anything wrong to them, there is always something else going on. And if they're not giving you an explanation that adds up, you need to dig deeper. These are warning signs. So she didn't respond to my messages after I reached the airport, and even after I landed and tried to contact her about my arrival and dinner plans, she remained unresponsive. It wasn't until 2 a.m. and she replied, claiming her phone had died. And this is a big pile of BS, which you're all going to see in a bit. I've read the rest of the email, so I know what happens. But there's something fishy going on here. She accused me of overwhelming her with messages, likening me to her smothering parents, and expressed her unwillingness to talk that night. Again, you get to see what a great relationship she has with her parents. Maybe the parents were just normal parents that could see what a problem she was, and they tried to help her, but she was too prideful and stubborn to listen. Or maybe the parents were problematic, and that caused a problem with her. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what family you come from, it's how you respond to and who you choose to be in the life you live. And her actions are that of a very selfish person. And the way she's getting very defensive and accusing him when she's displaying unusual behavior is the telling sign that someone has something to hide. Because remember, people that are honest don't mind being questioned. Only liars do. And then she expresses it, obviously, at the end, she's like, no, I don't want to talk to you tonight. After she's ignored him the entire day, right? This episode marked a shift in our communication. The next day, our communication was minimal, and she claimed to be busy with meetings, which was unusual. When we finally talked, I apologized for being clingy, and she requested a few days of space, marking the first time she'd ever asked for time apart. When a woman's in love with you, she wants your attention all the time. When a woman's using you or not interested in you, she wants time away from you because she's not ready with you for you, is she? And furthermore, why are you apologizing for being clingy? You did nothing wrong. You sent her a message, she didn't respond. You get off the airport, she hasn't responded. Naturally, you're going to worry. Naturally, you're going to want to know what's going on. And if you've known this woman long enough, she should know what you're like. Surely she'd know that you're not being clingy. You just want to gain clarity, make sure she's okay, nothing bad has happened to her. Why hasn't she responded? You know, my wife disappeared for a day. Yeah, I'd be asking her, hey, are you okay? Did something happen? I'd reach out to her family friend, hey, is she all right? Did something happen to her? It's common sense. That's not clingy. That's not needy. Okay? You're asking her, if you say you're in a relationship with her, which I don't think you are, but just the fact that you flew all the way to see her, you fly back and she can't even check up on you, yeah, there's something obviously wrong. And you asking about that doesn't make you clingy. Unless you're saying something really needy in your messages. Oh, are you leaving me? Do you still love me? Or why aren't you responding? Have I done something? If you're saying that, fine. But if you're texting her like, hey Jessica, I'm at the airport now, text you when I'm done. You arrive, hey, I just landed. Hey, I haven't heard from you yet. It's been a full day. Hope everything's okay on your end. Are you all right? If you say it like that, that's not needy. So then an unusual incident occurred the next morning when she called me from her bathroom sitting on the floor and whispering. She kept muting herself and unmuting herself to speak. I became upset and asked if someone was in the room with her. She reacted defensively. questioning my trust in her and growing increasingly angry. She hung up on me and we didn't have a call for another 2 days. Now, isn't that healthy? She loves you so much that she wants so much more time away from you. Wow. We didn't have another call for 2 days until she was picking up her friends from the airport. During this period, she posted a birthday photo of herself, and a guy commented with fire emojis, but I didn't make a big deal out of it, despite my ongoing concerns about our secrecy. So this is still 2021, and this girl still keeping you secret. Why is she keeping you secret, Jimmy? You're obviously not the right man for her in her eyes. And obviously she's a walking red flag. Why would a guy comment fire? Because she's talking to different men. She's using different men. Women that are close to other men are to be avoided. It really is that simple. The only man if you want to be in a relationship with a woman, the only man she should have in her life is you. If she's close to men in her family, a brother, older brothers, a father, a grandfather, uncles, and they're good men, that's men in the family. Beyond that, if she wants male friends, man, she can have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and that's where it ends. Think about it. If you're a guy, do you want female friends when you're in a relationship? Do you need that? No. Why? What can you get from that? Nothing. It always leads to problems. Always does. Some people have exceptions, right? They have friends from a young age, from school, from preschool when you're little kids, whatever. But you grow out of that. Men and women are made for each other, and quite frankly, if a man and a woman are in close proximity, one of them will develop some type of attachment, even if it's an unhealthy and they don't actually desire each other. Just from a comfort perspective and closeness, you bond. And if your woman is being around other men, she's disrespecting you. And you shouldn't change or fix a woman like that. You just remove them, because you want a woman that already understands it's wrong, so she knows not to do it. And she would expect the same from you and how you interact with women. You don't let women get close to you because you're a loyal man. End of story. But here she is having guys comment fire under her picture, right? That is so disrespectful. But you didn't make a big deal out of it. Well, you should have. You should have stood up for yourself. Hey, what's going on with that? In September 2021, during our trip, I tried to convince her to reconsider the breakup, emphasizing a strong connection. So you're trying to use logic and reason to justify to her why she should get back and be in a relationship with you. And you want to what? Spend your life with this woman? Have kids with her? Grow old with her? And you have to beg and convince her to do the basic to even want to still talk to you? You never had a relationship with her. She pushed away exclusivity from the beginning, and she kept you in the background because you were the only guy who was dumb enough to keep giving her a chance. And she thought, this is quite comfortable. He's flying out to see me. He's making all the effort. If I can't find any other good men, he'll do. But a big reason why she could never really appreciate you as a man is because she's damaged. She has red flags. Whether it's trauma or sin, unresolved and unrepentant, it's keeping her from showing up and being genuine. And without the right blueprint, and without her having the pure intention of being a wife and a mother, she's never going to want to appreciate a man that she can have as a husband or father to her children, because she's not thinking about those things. And that's reality. Some women you just avoid, guys. That's the end of it. Same for the ladies watching. There are some men out there you just have to cut off. And now you're trying to beg this girl, oh, please reconsider the breakup. Please, we have such a strong connection. What strong connection, man? She doesn't even give a damn about you. You have convinced yourself there's a connection there because you're in limerence. She's not. And even though you do this begging and the groveling and please, your highness, give me a chance, she still remained committed to embracing solitude and self-discovery. That's the classic one you hear all the time. I'm not ready for a relationship yet. I want to discover myself, right? I want to be single. Yeah. 1 month later, October 2021, she reached out to check on me, and I confessed missing her and even suggesting going back to how things were. Again, more chasing, more pursuing after a woman that doesn't want you. What is the whole point of dating and courtship? You lead it to marriage. And what is the cornerstone of this all? Keep someone in your life that wants to keep you. Choose someone that wants you. She doesn't want you. Really, what part of you has such little self-respect? Hey, let me do more of what's not working to get this woman. You tried begging her. She already said, no, I need to be on self-discovery. She reaches out to you and you do the same thing. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Hey, let's go back to how things were. But again, she declined and proposed remaining exactly how we are for a couple, and proposed remaining like a couple for a week before she ended all communication. From October to December, we maintain a confusing dynamic. It's not confusing at all. You're just chasing after a woman, convincing yourself you have a relationship with her. And it's been like this from the beginning with her. The writing was on the wall. I tried to win her back by showering her with gifts and financial support, and she seemed to enjoy being spoiled. Yeah, good old gold digging. Even though our interactions resembled a couple's, why are you so focused on your actions resembling that of a couple? It doesn't. It resembles a weak, insecure man who's trying to throw money and attention to a woman that doesn't want him back. And because that woman is superficial, she'll extract what she can. Okay? If someone's mistreating you, you're inviting them to. If you keep them in your life. And they'll take, till there's nothing left to take. So this is on you. How disgusting is that? She doesn't want you in her life. She doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. But hey, you giving her money and spoiling her financially, that's great. Even though our interactions resemble that of a couple. What? No, it doesn't. She still repeatedly expressed her desire to remain single. Exactly. You're trying to treat her like a girlfriend, but even then, gifts, presents, love notes, flowers, presents of any kind, they're reserved for girlfriends or wives, women you are committed to and that are treating you well. If you're trying to fix your relationship after an argument, you don't use presents, you use your presence. You talk it through and you change actions, right? You don't reward bad behavior from a woman with gifts. Good behavior from time to time, you can surprise your woman if she's treating you well with a gift or a present, because then it's a cherry on top that she will cherish when she's a giver as well. But a woman like this who's not even serious about keeping you in her life and you're going to reward her with presents? No, you don't do that. Very weird situation. So yeah, she desires to remain single. We didn't have our usual nightly FaceTime calls, and she spent nights at her friend's house while I continued providing for her in exchange for her attention. You reap what you sow. I'm not going to feel sorry for you for doing that, because what you did was wrong. And you did it for yourself. You did it to yourself. Hopefully there's a lesson in that. You provide for a good woman, or a woman that honors you. Not a woman like that. I noticed a mark on her neck, but she insisted it was a rash, so I chose to trust her. In November 2021, while working on a Zoom call together, I accidentally overheard her talking to another guy, making plans to meet up for frisbee and breakfast. And he was the guy who commented the fire emojis on her photo earlier. I confronted her and she admitted that they hooked up once, although we weren't officially together. I was angry and disappointed, but ultimately forgave her. And we quickly resumed our routine. In retrospect, I should have walked away, but I chose to continue our relationship. Dude, stop calling it a relationship. It was not a relationship. Never was, never has been, never will be. You convinced yourself in your head to make yourself feel better about yourself that it was a relationship. It was you simping after a woman that didn't want you back. Every time you brought up a relationship, she said no. She kept confirming to you, I'm single, but she kept using you for attention because she's an attention seeker. She's not wife material. You obviously had red flags too. At that point in your life, you were not husband material because, you're chasing after damaged women. You're not standing up for your values. I don't see any high standards that you have here, at least at this point in your life. You're trading time, money for attention from a woman. That's not normal behavior. She's telling you that she's had sex with the guy on the pictures and telling you that, it doesn't really matter because we were never exclusive. And then at the same time, you're telling me here that you quickly resumed your routine and you choose to continue a relationship. What relationship is there if she keeps saying that you're not exclusive? There's no relationship. There isn't. In December 2021, wow, this one's a tough one, isn't it? I visited her and we ended up taking a trip to another city in Texas, where we had some moments of intimacy, and she tearfully apologized for cheating. How is she apologizing for cheating if you're not in a relationship? If she keeps saying you're not exclusive? She's using you as a boyfriend when it suits her, and then she's still free to do what she wants if she's single. So we mutually agreed to part ways. A week after I returned home, though, I received a text from her saying that she misses me and that the week without me has been painful. Again, Jimmy, this woman is just manipulating you, and she's doing a very good job at it because you keep going back to her. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. She's been fooling you for a long time, and you keep giving her chance after chance. But look, you've had the experience, and now you've learned the hard way. Was it worth it? You wasted your mid-20s, as you said at the beginning of your email. It doesn't have to be this way. If you learn about red flags, how to assess compatibility, to rightly divide between a good woman and a bad one, you can cut this down to 2-3 weeks of your time and you can walk away. At the most. Maybe 60-90 days if you're inexperienced. Or there's something you don't really see that well in long distance, which can happen. But beyond that point, you should never be years with the wrong person if you're someone who's serious with high standards. But obviously you had a knowledge gap, so you didn't know that. So I do understand that you did the best with what you knew. But obviously looking back, you can even learn from your own experience, right? But for those of you watching, being intelligent is to learn from your own mistakes. Wisdom is learning from the mistakes of others so that you don't have to go through them in the first place. So she said it's been painful without you. You flirt for a bit. You check the Instagram and find out. And you find a message from the guy who always commented the fire emoji on her pictures. He informs me that he saw me texting my ex and being very flirty, asking if I was aware they were in a relationship. Oh, so she's not exclusive with you, but she has another man in the background, right? He's the other boyfriend. And you've been sending her money all this time, right? She loves it. She's got two guys that she's juggling, working out for her, right? This is why you ask a woman about her past. Because imagine the next guy comes around in the future and asks her, tell me about your previous relationships. Do you think she's going to be honest and tell him, Yeah, there was this guy from 2020 to 2023 I was using, and another guy who I liked as well, and I was using them both. Any rational man would walk away from that woman, which is why women like this, when you ask them, tell me about your previous relationships, what happened, there will be inconsistencies in the stories. There's information they leave out. They pause. They don't really want to talk about it. They feel threatened. They feel questioned. And that's why when a woman's open and is willing to tell you everything and it all adds up, she's genuine. There's a reason why girls like this, even men who do this, they don't turn from their ways, they're really not going to find a good spouse in the future. Because good men and women are going to vet you so hard, they'll figure this stuff out. You can't hide anything in the long run. It always comes out. And now you got the other guy who thinks he's convinced he has a relationship with her. He's thinking, who the hell are you? But you've been there for years. Crazy stuff. So I shared my number with him and we had a shaky phone call. He revealed that they matched on Hinge earlier in August. They went on a date on the morning of my birthday. This was when I was flying that afternoon to spend my birthday with her, and she decorated the apartment for me. On your birthday, she's fucking another man. Wow. Surprise, right? No pun intended. And then they had their second date when I returned home from Texas, and she did not text me back till 2 a.m. Remember when I said earlier, if there's inconsistency in a pattern and you call them out and they get defensive and don't want to tell you what's going on, something you have to dig deeper. This is why she was feeling guilty. She knew what she was doing was wrong. They first slept together during that time, and during the time she was saying that I was smothering her when she called me from the bathroom and was being very suspicious. He visited her for 3 days during her birthday in August, and then she wasn't talking to me during that time. She basically gaslighted me into thinking I was being too clingy while she was cheating on me. Well, at the end of the day, you never really had a relationship with her. It was nice for her to come over for the birthday, but she was just enjoying the attention. You know, the proof should have been when she said to you from the beginning, I have male friends, and that I've dated and I leave them in the background. That tells you everything you need to know. Because good women, if they go on a date with a guy and it doesn't work out, they move on. They remove him from their lives. If they have a guy friend and the guy friend turns out that he likes her, she has morals, she'll cut that guy friend off because she doesn't want a man in her life that she doesn't like who likes her. She knows it's immoral. You guys have to stop thinking that women are these dainty little creatures that can't make life choices. Yes, they can. Women are very, very intelligent. And they're capable of a lot of good if they're moral, and a lot of evil if they're not moral. Oh, I'm innocent and no. You made life choices and there's a price you have to pay for them. And that's it. A woman like this, guys, is not wife material, for those of you watching. Be very careful with things like this. Gaslighting you to think that you are being clingy. She never felt any guilt about that or even admitted this until it all blew up like this. It's a bit narcissistic. She even introduced him to her friends when they were visiting, while she had not even mentioned me to them. There you go. He went on to describe their relationship timeline, explaining that he had asked her to be exclusive, another guy who has a knowledge gap, while she was at my apartment. And they both expressed their love for each other during that time. He revealed that they spent most nights together in Texas since they lived close to each other. He mentioned that she allowed him to be intimate with her without protection. And according to him, she had informed him that I met her at work, and we were just a COVID relationship, claiming we had broken up in May and we were only friends. She knows how to lie. She does it well. That's a bad thing. I asked her to call me the next day to understand her actions. When she called, she apologized, admitting that she loved him and saw a future with him. She claimed he made her a better person and implied that I was merely a crutch to her. What did I say at the beginning of the rebounds? She's keeping you in the background. Women like that just They haven't healed from their past and they're using the guy to get over their past traumas, get over their past lives. If you watch the rebound video, I go into detail in that. These things do happen. You've got to be very careful. She confessed that she kept talking to me because she feared losing her job and if I wasn't helping her with it. And when I asked her if she'd been intimate with him the previous night, she confirmed it. And I ended our relationship and told her to never contact me again. Well, you didn't have a relationship, you had a situationship, but you've walked away now, so good. Or so we thought. January 2022. Remember, this relationship goes on to 2023. Says, I turned to YouTube to cope with my intense breakup, seeking knowledge about narcissism and relationship dynamics. Despite the pain, I focused on self-improvement, hitting the gym, and contemplating relocating to start fresh. I reached out to my ex in late January, but realized she wanted to continue building her relationship with that guy. Why would you reach out to her? You're going against your word. That's not masculine behavior. You just said before, I ended our relationship and told her to never contact me again. A few months later, you reached out to her. No, you don't do that. But now she realized she still wants to continue with that guy. Leave her, man. Let her become that guy's problem. She'll be playing another guy in the background before you know it. She's got the experience and the talent for it, clearly. Fucking hell. Excuse my French, guys, but that is bad. In March 2022, she contacts me saying she's single and wants to apologize in person. So we met in Chicago. Why? Tell her to pound sand, good riddance, and I wish you all the best. Love her from far away, let her live her life. She's not for you, man. Cut her off. But you didn't. During those days, I bought her gifts. And there were intimate moments. More simping, more please your highness, like me back. Look what a good option I am for you. If she was a good woman, just you as you are would be enough. She proposed a friends with benefits arrangement but later cut off communication because she wasn't done with that other guy. In April, we reconnected and agreed to be friends with benefits. So it's more like you agreed and went along with what she wanted because you're so desperate to want her. She's had this other guy's dick inside of her and you want to take her back? Come on, man, have some self-respect. That is weak. That is weak. That's cuck behavior. She proposes friends with benefits. It's like you're like some Russia, Ukraine organizing some type of deal here. Oh, she proposed an arrangement, but then cut off communication because she wasn't done with the other guy. Oh, okay. But hey, you can be friends with benefits with me, Jimmy. Be my cuck. Be my boy toy. In April, we reconnected and she moved back to Baltimore from Texas in June. Maybe we can start something again because I missed her and tried to move on quickly with no success. July 2022, she visited Illinois. We agreed on an open relationship due to her desire for more freedom. Man, this is some cuck type behavior. Pathetic. Jimmy, it's pathetic behavior. You can do better as a man. But you reap what you sow. We agreed for an open relationship. Why would you want to even look or talk to this woman after another man's been piping her? Come on now. From August 2022 to February 2023, we continued dating, with her taking more initiative. In other words, she's such a POS, piece of SHIT. She can't clearly find a good man in her life because good men want nothing to do with her because the good men are going to vet her from the beginning and figure out that she's a hoe. So she can't find a good man, so what is she doing? Jimmy is the next best thing. He's a good guy, I don't really want him, but he's the only one who's dumb enough to put up with my BS. That's what she's doing. That's why you may think she's being a bit more serious, making more initiative, because you're the only dummy who's putting up with her BS. That's what's going on here. As I say all the time to men, if you can't find it's only harder to find a good woman if you're not a good man. And the same thing goes for the ladies. Because if you're a good woman and you really put yourself out there and you assess with your values and you protect your integrity, you'll find a good man eventually. By default. As a man, if you're a good man and you've got good values, eventually you'll find a good woman. But if you try and you can't, it's a you problem. She can't find a man that will take her seriously. So she wants an open relationship with you and looking out for other options. In January 2023, I announced I'm moving to California, suggested ending things, but she proposed we continue until June 2023. It's like she's running the show, she's treating your situation like a contract that she expands whenever she wants to suit her needs. From March to July, we met in different places, but I realized that connection was ending. We talked about our differences and she felt I deserved better. Man, if she's telling you, I mean, come on. Of course you do. But at the end of the day, you get in life whatever you put in. And you got that sort of woman because that's the effort you were putting in with her. You stayed with her. That's what you had. She also mentioned her concern about my family accepting her after what had happened and questioned the foundation of our relationship. Exactly. She knows her reputation is on the line. Sooner or later, people are going to figure it out. Is that the sort of woman you want by your side to represent you, to be the mother of your children? Come on now. I didn't argue and agreed with her perspective. I tried to move on but struggled with post-date thoughts of her and dating app frustrations. Nonetheless, I resisted reaching out, and in August 2023, she wished me a happy birthday and we rekindled our conversation. I expressed a desire to see her again as I missed her terribly. Man, you need to stop being a cuck. Literally, write it on a piece of paper. I need to stop being a cuck. She's had another man's dick in her mouth, probably, inside of her. These guys are doing whatever they want to her. Open a relationship. You don't even know her body count because she hasn't told you the truth. And you miss this woman. What? It's because you have low standards. That's what's going on. And I'm saying this to slap you out of your complacency and get you to see how serious the situation is. Count yourself lucky you don't have an STD, you didn't get divorced with her, you didn't have kids with her. Move on. In September 2023, she came from a trip that lacked intimacy, primarily consisting of dates and pictures. She suggested a pattern of continuing going on trips, but then not talking for months, only to reintroduce trips if we're not seeing anyone else. So she just wants to use you, right? I initially said we'll see, but I knew it wouldn't help me with the healing process, so I didn't plan on reaching out. I've been worrying about settling for someone to please my parents. This isn't about your parents, dude. This is about you as a man. Get right with God, first and foremost. I worried about settling for someone to please my parents and feared of being left behind by my peers. I feel lost and broken, relying on dating apps despite their consistent failures, fearing I might return to my ex's world to have a partner. Block this woman on everything. Delete her from your life. To answer your question, because he did ask me, do dating apps work? They do. You can meet women online or in person. If you have integrity and values, and you set up your profile in a way that showcases who you are, you'll attract the right woman. I met my woman online, my wife online. We have the same values. The quality of woman you get is in direct proportion to the quality of man you are. If a woman has red flags and you choose to keep her in your life, you have red flags. Because the second you spotted something off with this woman, you would have walked away years ago. But you stayed, and you reap what you sow. Jimmy, if you want my help, sign up to Relationship Mastery. It's right for you. It will fill in your knowledge gap. But regarding your case study, walk away from this woman. Block her from everything. And for those of you watching, you know, you involved with a girl who has any of these signs from the beginning, you walk away. Raise your standards. Men, it is that simple. Do not let this happen to you. He's 27 now. You're still a young guy, 27-year-old. You take 6 months, a year to heal, you'll be fine. You'll be 28. You can find a good woman. You could technically be married 29, 30 to a good, traditional, honest, feminine woman and turn your life around. And you have the rest of your 30s, 40s, and however long you live to enjoy her. But you've wasted your mid-20s. You're in your late 20s. Don't waste that. It's time for change now. So with that said, that's been the case study. Jimmy, thank you for being honest enough to detail everything that happened to you and all the mistakes you made. It does take a lot of courage to share that. And you've come to the right place. Of course, you found learning relationships, and I wish that you continue to learn, that you turn your life around. If any of you have a similar case study you'd like to send me, the email is linked down below in the description. And with that said, I hope you'll have a wonderful day. God bless all of you and your families, and I'll see you all in the next one.